Hi guys, the video you're about to see comes with quite a bit of bittersweetness. The video itself I'm really pleased with, and the actual footage I'm over the moon with. Gets to show off this lovely little animal that I was trying to move up into its new home. Unfortunately, after editing and recording all this footage and putting it all together for this week's release, the little one didn't make it. So I came home from work after a night shift and unfortunately found this one passed away at the bottom of the enclosure. I have no idea what happened. It was a nymph, so sometimes these things happen. I've beat myself up enough already trying to figure out what I've done, but probably not anything to do with things I've done. Everything was clean, everything was new, nothing was being reused, and apart from the sticks, but they have been cleaned off. And yeah, I'm not sure. He was eating. He was up on his enclosure on the roof, fine, moving around, chasing after like the little fruit flies that were in there. But I found him passed away when I got home from work. So I do want you to enjoy this video. I've put this video out just simply to show the excitement of having this little mantis. But yeah, unfortunately it is quite bittersweet to actually have this video out there now. So I do hope you enjoy the video. Here it is. This week we're going to be moving our wide-armed mantis. At the Eastern Invert show I picked up a Leahs humoralis, which is the wide-armed mantis from Africa, and it's a beautiful little nymph. I picked this up. I haven't had mantis for a while. I get way too attached with them, but this one was just staring at me, and after talking to Mitch for a little while I decided, yep, I'm going to have one of these. And it's a lovely little thing. Really apparently quite aggressive food response, and from what I've seen it likes to eat. So we're going to spin the camera around and we're going to rehouse that now. So here we have the wide-armed mantis, and we are going to take him out of this pot that we've had him in for a couple of days, and we're going to put him into this enclosure. And as you can see, he's going to have absolutely plenty of room in here. I was a little bit more worried about him getting out, but he's not going to get out of this. We've had mantises before. I do love mantises. We haven't had mantises for a little while, basically because I get too attached to them, and their lifespan sort of does me in a little bit, because obviously you see them grow through to maturity and passing, yeah, and it's never nice losing a pet. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to get this one set up. Now the setup's going to be substrate. We're going to have some sticks and things up here with a little bit of decor, and he's got his netting up the top for him to hang off and molt. And mantises require like 3 times their body length, so this one's going to have plenty of scope for that. So we're going to get this set up, get the camera on its tripod, and start putting some substrates in, shall we? Oh, as a side note while we're here, we got the Luminize UVB set up over both the sun beetles and the frog's enclosure, and as you can see it's doing its job. It's nice and bright there. I have programmed it in to give like a daylight sunrise sunset on the app. The app's pretty good, and yeah, I'm overall pleased with it. Pain in the backside to screw it into that shelf, to be honest, because I didn't have much room to work, but overall pretty happy. It's over the frog, it's in a nice spot and gives plenty of light. We even got the jumping spiders down here. They're getting a little bit of light from it as well, so all good. They do like to bask. Right, anyway, back to today. Okay, so we've got our enclosure here, and what we're going to do to start with is we're going to put a little bit of soil in, not too much, but a tiny little bit of the base, and then we've got some decor to go in, which we want to get in whilst the soil's quite shallow, so that we can hold this down. We're going to bury this in. This is our little piece of flour. We're going to get a flower in the back there. That looks okay. The lighting in here is, sorry, I do apologise about this. It's not the best at the moment. We'll need to sort that out long term, I suppose. Right, so decent bit of substrate. Compact this down We want it to hold a bit of moisture, a bit of humidity, but we don't need it too deep, and we don't want it shrinking up over time either. Once all this is in, it should hold its shape. We've got a couple of these little sticks. These are like some bogwood type stuff. I'm going to put this one in over here, so we've got like a climbing position going across over there. A bit more soil. Try and hold that in place. Take out the big lumps. Give that a bit of a spray to try and... We'll get this a bit wet now, let it soak through, and then what we can do is this will help with us packing it down. Hopefully it will go through and dry out, but if we add a little bit more then it won't be too bad. Right, that one will turn to there. Right, so we've got one bit at the front. Then we've got another stick here. Now what we're going to do is we'll put this at an angle from the back, sort of coming up over this way, just by the plant. Try and get that held in position there. Do apologise for my hands in the way. Get that like that. And we get a tiny little spoon. Try and get some where we can't get our hands very easily. Pat that down. This soil is just literally topsoil with a bit of peat moss in it, the usual sort of standard mix, so that we've got some moisture retaining properties, but also it's not too heavy, and you know, it's a nice, I find it works now, so it's a standard setup that we're going to use. Right, let's get that off of there so the door stays nice and clean. Right, I think that looks okay. So let's have a look at this properly, shall we? Right, we have our couple of sticks, a piece of decor, things for it to climb on. There's plenty of space for it to molt, and that looks okay. I will put a little bit of leaf litter in the bottom, and then what we'll do is we'll get the mantis moved in. Okay, so we added some leaf litter down the bottom and a little bit of decor with some leaves, just, you know, make it look a little bit prettier. And that's the setup basically. This is, you know, an African species of mantis, so the humidity doesn't have to be super high, but at the same time I think it's in the range of about 60 to 75, something like that. And these apparently are quite robust. They've got an amazing feeding response, but yeah, we'll get some we'll get the lid off the other one and we'll get him moved in here, shall we? Okay, so here's our little girl. Well, she is definitely a girl. We had it sexed before we left the show, which was brilliant. Appreciate that, Mitch. Absolutely awesome. And here we go. Our tiny little girl. She's absolutely stunning. Already wanting to wander. So let's see how she goes. She's already out. Already finding her way in her new environment. Yep, you got loads of space in here to go wherever you want. My only issue is going to be whether or not we can see her or not. Hopefully she won't disappear, because we want to be able to feed her. In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll give her a tiny little worm. She does look quite fat right now, but we'll see if she's hungry. Give her a very, very, very small mealworm and see if she'll take that down, shall we? We've got the smallest of mealworms that we can find. Let's see if she'll take it down.
Many hours later.
And that's the rehousing of the mantis, the Silnea humoralis, wide-armed mantis from Africa. Awesome little thing. I haven't kept mantises for a while. The reason being is because I tend to get way too attached to them, and their lifespan is so short that it's like a big up and down thing with me and the care. I do love them. They're brilliant to interact with. They're brilliant to watch eat and feed and stuff. So if you've never had a mantis before, I definitely recommend something like, you know, the giant Asian or one of these wide arms, something that's a little bit robust and something you can watch grow and molt, because their molting process is quite unique, the way they hang and then sort of fall out through. If you ever kept stick insects, it's a very similar process. Anyway, that is today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week I think we're going to be having the versicolor rehouse, so if you enjoyed what you see today, please give the video a like, please consider subscribing if you're not, and leave a comment. Let me know what mantises you've got, if you've ever had any, and I will catch up with you guys next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Laters.